Hi everyone, this is Dr. Julie Dameron, local veterinarian for over 20 years. I am so excited about my new radio show, Tales and Tips, on Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, Voice of Stockton, and KXVS Radio. I will discuss relevant issues affecting animals and pet owners today, how to avoid common problems, and how to extend the quality of life for your cherished companions. As a community advocate, I will also discuss important social issues that affect our city. I plan to showcase organizations and heroes who are doing amazing things to help others. Remember to tune in every Tuesday morning at 10, starting soon.
Do you want to relive the golden days of Stockton? Join Nate Knott on Stockton Alive every first and third Monday at 6 p.m. Tune into thevoiceofstockton.org.
KXVS on 92.1 coming soon. KXVS.
Welcome to Stockton SJC. That's right here on KXVS 92.1, the voice of Stockton, soon to be on 92.1 real soon. We're real lucky today. We have a special guest, none other than San Joaquin County Supervisor Miguel Villapudua. Welcome, Miguel. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for having me.
Man, thank you for coming to the studio.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we've been talking about getting you here, and now you're here, and now it's going to be regular.
Absolutely. I'm going to try my best. Get here once a month or so.
All right. So some of the folks out there might not know who you are. You're new county supervisor.
That's correct.
But new to the community.
Yep. I'm born and raised here, a big family.
Yeah.
Grew up in east side of Stockton, and I'm the youngest of five. And we know everybody in the community, and I was happy to run, and it was fun.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, is this your first stint at public office?
It is. Before this, I was a planning commissioner.
Yeah.
And the way it worked out was my cousin, Carlos Villapudua,
Yes.
was actually a county supervisor, and he urged me to run, and he helped me out, and
Yeah.
he did such a great job, and I got to follow in his footsteps, and basically I'm trying to keep up the good work he did.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet. Now it's you've been in the job for starting on your 9th month?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Starting with 9 month, and it's going smooth. You know what? I'm on 15 committees.
Wow.
And, just trying to, meet everybody in the community. I met a lot of department heads who are really nice. They do a good job. They work hard, and I'm here to support them and meeting everybody in the community, all the community leaders. And it's been a good 9 months. So
Yeah.
looking forward to the next 3.5 years, 3 years plus.
Now we know what a supervisor does. Most people have had one.
Mm-hmm.
But what does a county supervisor do?
You know what, the way I describe it to people is basically we're basically the city council of the county. And we're here to basically oversee our 5 districts. There's one supervisor per district, and we're here to take care of our districts, looking out for the best, make the best decisions. And there's a lot of people out there, especially in my district, who need some sort of support. Low-income families, South Stockton, looking for a better job, a better way of life. And we're here to try to connect the dots and try to help them.
Yeah. Now, some parts of the city actually aren't even in the city, right? Some
That's
parts
correct.
of the city is just county. So
Exactly.
Sometimes you're the only person people can go to.
Exactly.
Yeah,
And,
so they don't have like the filter.
Exactly. Especially, if you look at my district, it's really city and county. And sometimes I get a lot of calls, and I try to help people, but sometimes they're in the city, so I try to refer them to the right person. But you know what? We don't turn away anybody. We try to help everybody. I have a good assistant. His name is Chris Rapay, and he does an excellent job of trying to help people. And if it's not he, it's I. And we try to connect them with the dots and people in the county, and we try our best.
Now, there's definitely, we have a lot of big issues, some issues that are on people's minds because, of historic things that have gone on. We're worried about the drought. We're worried about economy.
Right.
But there's also some new things that we're paying attention to. Give us a little bit of a kind of a synopsis of what the county's focused on.
Well, you know what? This last year, it was a big issue when we had all the rain, and I think our job, our department heads did a great job of controlling, like, the floods and stuff like that, and with the roads, public works. But there's a lot of issues. Obviously, we have homelessness issue that everybody's worried about, and I'm worried about it also. But we have a supervisor, Kathy Miller. She's the head of the task force,
right? And
she's doing a great job. She's got some good ideas, and I think we're making the right footstep forward, and we're gonna make something happen for the homeless. Yeah. Then obviously we just got through marijuana. Yeah. That was a sensitive issue, and I think it was really debated. There's a lot of cons and pros, and people were getting up and speaking before the board, and it was tough. We had a DA that was for it, to regulate it, and we had a sheriff that was against it.
Right.
And it was a tough decision, but what the bottom line is, the people of San Joaquin County voted for it.
Sure did.
So, I felt it was my job to support the people who, they wanted it. Right. And so that's why I voted for it. And I think with the people we have in place, we put a good ordinance in place, we can make this a right thing. We can make it beneficial to everybody.
Yeah, we had Tom Petty on the other day. He was on the air, and we heard him talk about that same issue. And there again, you said the voters voted for it, but it's a sensitive subject for a lot of people.
It is. Well, the thing of it is I don't think marijuana is going anywhere. People are going to have a black market. They're always going to have access to it. And my view was, why not monitor it and legalize it? That way we could trace and track, and we can find out. We can eliminate the black market. That's what I'm looking for.
Right.
And I'm on a couple committees that can actually benefit from it. I'm on the first 5. Yeah. And we're hoping that, some of that tax revenue can benefit children. Right. Especially 0 through 5. Yeah. I know the Children's Alliance could, benefit from it too. Yeah. So, what? The way I look at it is we have to make it work. Right. And I'm hoping come out with a good ordinance here, and then, we can everybody can benefit from it.
Right. Now, this happened in Colorado a few years back, and now they have, massive numbers. Their revenue for marijuana from the taxes. They're making a ton.
Right.
Excuse me about that.
No problem.
And it's making a huge impact. And what they saw is it didn't increase the drug use for young people, except a little bump. There's always a bump in things when there's a shift. But what they did see is a decrease in other kinds of drug use and what you call mind-altering substances. Even alcohol sales in some areas went down.
Right.
But they also showed that there's less hardcore drug use. The bad stuff, the heroin, the opiates,
right.
Those things.
Right. Well, you know what? I've never heard anybody do anything really stupid on marijuana. You know what? I think marijuana, if anything, it can help people who are in need. There's a lot of benefits for marijuana for people who are, have problems with their health. Yeah. And you know what? I've never heard. I think alcohol is worse than marijuana, in my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Alcohol. I mean, do the, the injuries and the health issues, but also, fatal car accidents.
Exactly.
All sorts of things. Domestic violence.
Exactly.
Alcohol exacerbates a lot of those issues.
I agree.
Yeah. Now, so the county did vote to move forward, but there's still some bugs to be worked out.
Absolutely. They're working on an ordinance right now, and we have some good people working on it. County council, and they're going to, actually next Tuesday we're going to have another meeting on marijuana. We're going to try to figure out what direction we're going in. Yeah. But they're going to come up with some good ideas, and hopefully, we have a good board. We can put something together that's going to benefit San Joaquin County.
Right. And again, we're talking about the commercial aspect of it. The state law changed, and so every adult, if they follow the right rules and if they have it under the lock and key and all the guidelines, they could grow their own.
Absolutely.
As long as they follow the rules.
If they follow the rules, they can have up to 6 plants.
Yeah.
Right.
So, but we're talking about, the commercial aspect of it, because that's where the tax revenue comes in.
Yeah, the commercial aspect and the dispensaries and the transportation, and there's different ways that we can collect tax revenue from it. And with the ordinance coming out, we're going to try to figure out the best way to approach it is. We're not going to go crazy and have 100 dispensaries. We're trying to control it, and we don't want to be known as a marijuana county. Yeah. But we want to follow through and keep our finger on top of it, and
Yeah, definitely.
and let the system work. You know what I mean?
Sure. Now, we also had recently, we talked about this, city council had voted for the type of development that we want. And the county, I think, is also on board. But the issue has been, are we going to keep on expanding, or are we going to infill? And so we actually have some development projects underway that are, I think, worth talking about.
Well, you know what? I was on the planning commission for 8 years, and I worked on the general plan. And the thing of it is our population is going to double in the next 20 years.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah, from what I understand. And
Yeah. Well, it's
we
already
need-
doubled over the last 20, huh?
right.
Yeah.
So in the next 20 years, and we need to come up with homes for everyone, better roads, and parks, and we got to find a way to make it work for everyone. So it's a big issue, and I think we just have to work as a team,
Right.
good leadership,
Yeah.
and hopefully we can accommodate all these people.
Now, we talked about, we didn't talk about it, but you mentioned earlier, we were off the air, but the Sierra Vista Homes project.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Sierra Vista homes. You know what? There's a lot of homes in Sierra Vista that aren't up to par. They're older homes. So the housing department has basically come up with a plan to demolish those homes,
Yeah.
and they're going to come up with $34 million, redevelopment project,
Yeah.
and they're going to be energy efficient homes,
Nice.
and it's going to be a good project. There's going to be 67, and they're going to work it up to 115.
Wow. So we're actually adding units.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Nice.
they're going to be really nice homes. It's going to be a nice project, and I think the South Side deserves it.
Southside also could use some sidewalks.
Absolutely. We got some sidewalks coming in.
Yeah.
Between 9th and 13th Street, B&D streets, we got some new pavement, some gutters, some sidewalks. And
It's rough out there if you got to walk.
it's right up there. We have a guy named Chris Bellaggi in Public Works.
Yeah.
And that does an amazing job for the county.
Yeah.
And the guy is engaged, and you can call him 24/7, and he answers. And if I tell him I have a problem in my district, the guy is he's on it. And him and his crew, he has a good team of people that are working for us. And I respect him. He does a great job.
So how much does the county deal with water? I know it's been a hot topic. What a lot of people are complaining now. They say, well, we did what we were supposed to do, and now we're being charged for it. And there's been all sorts of issues about the water. Even before the drought, there was an issue about the chloramines a couple years back and the quality of the water. How much is the county involved in that?
Well, you know what? We have a department that works especially just on water, and the problem is, water is such an important issue. We have farming, and we have people drinking water and obviously and watering their lawns.
Yeah.
So it's a big issue in our county, and this drought that just hopefully ended with all the water we got.
Yeah.
We have more options.
Yeah.
But it's always going to be a problem, either if we have not enough water or we have too much water.
Yeah.
If there's too much water, we have to watch our levees.
Yeah.
And so it's a big issue in the county, and we're always talking about water. It's never going to go away.
Yeah. Yeah. Water. Water is life, right?
Yeah, water is life.
And California, it's funny. We're like the food basket of the nation.
Right.
But that takes water, man.
I know.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
You know what? This last year I learned a lot about water. Running for office and then getting in office, and it's people don't realize it, but it's such a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's involved in everything. It's involved in industry and agriculture.
Yes.
Domestic. Everything.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, one of the things that was interesting is that I saw in the record, Alex Breitler put a story out about even though we have surface water in the reservoirs, we're still pulling water from the aquifers, and it seems like it's about almost like it's such a big thing that it's a slow turning ship. Is that what it is? Does it just take us time for the things to kind of come into place, the switches to flip?
Well, you know what I think a lot of it is now we have this extra water. We're trying to figure out the best way to distribute it. And obviously we're getting more water from Sierra Mountains, and they release the water, and we're trying to figure out how much goes in the ground, how much we use on top.
Right.
And you know what? We leave it to the engineers to figure it out for us, but it's obviously, they're doing a good job. And And I know rates go up for water, but you know what? We don't know how much rain we're going to get every year.
That's true.
So we got to regulate it.
Yeah. I mean, we it might be a new trend, or we might have just got lucky.
Yeah, hopefully we get a lot more water this year, upcoming year, and we won't be having this conversation again.
Talking about what are we going to do with all this water?
Yeah, that'd be great. Yep.
Water for everybody.
I'm looking forward to some rain. It's been a hot year.
Man, it's been a hot few weeks.
Yeah, I've been.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I never thought I'd say this, but I'm done with summer.
Yeah, man. San Francisco broke a record last week. I think it was 106 out there.
I know, and a lot of those people don't have ACs, so it's got to be really tough.
Yeah, way atypical for them, out of the ordinary for sure. I mean, we're used to it. You know, folks out here, it gets 106 degrees, and actually last week we would have been like, all right, what a relief, down to 106. But yeah, and of course there's always things to consider. Sometimes in extreme heat we see these clean air days.
Right.
Yeah. And so how does that work? I mean, is that a...
You know what? I'm not a professional on that, but you know what? Obviously, when it's really hot, I think the air is just bad. But you know what? It's I'll leave it to the professionals on that one. But
there you go.
I'm like you. I love beautiful days, and
yes,
you can tell more or less when you don't want to be outside.
Well, you know, we want to have clean air and clean water, of course. Those are things that are not just county issues. There's, of course, city issue, but it's a state issue. Right. And the clean, what do you call it, spare the air days, that, you know, that's not a county issue. That's a state thing. Right. Yeah. So, but in this county, we also, a lot of times, the air is the quality of air has to do with agriculture. That
is true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, and we think of the county and the city, San Joaquin County. But when I first got to Stockton, people told me, "Oh, Stockton, it's like a farm town."
Right.
All right. And when I came out here, you know, that's all the walnut fields were being turned into housing.
Right.
So it's slowly becoming, you know, this bigger sprawl. But agriculture is a huge component of our community.
It is. You know what? I realize I grew up on a farm, and you know, east side of Stockton, and farming's big, and I think it's put our county on the map.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, with all the farming and all the diesels, yeah, our air quality is probably not going to be the best in the world, but you know, we're lucky to live where we live. Yeah, it's a beautiful county.
Yeah.
You know, we got the grapes, we got the wine.
Yeah.
You know, we're close to it. We're centrally located. We can get anywhere we want.
That's right.
So it's really nice.
Yeah, I mean, try if you ever travel the country and you got to buy fruits and vegetables out there. Yeah. And you're you've never seen anybody pay $3.95 for a pound of tomatoes until you leave California.
Right.
So yeah, we are lucky for that. Now, how much does the county depend on agricultural revenue versus urban revenue?
Well, you know, we just had this discussion in our last meeting, and I think we had a drop off this last year, and forget exactly why, but there was a 9% drop, I want to say, and
on the agricultural side.
Agricultural.
Right. And they talked about the asparagus now is too expensive to grow.
Asparagus is a big drop off, and I believe almonds is a big issue because, you know, it takes a lot of water to raise almonds.
Sure it does. It does.
Yeah.
One day we're going to figure out how to take the water and just put it right back into the plant.
Yeah. Yep. I know.
So we got some things coming up in the works too. Oh wait, before that, we talked about the summer book camp. That was
Yep. Summer book camp. Basically, you know what we're trying to. I got 3 community centers in my district, and we're trying to, you know, literacy, and children. You know, we don't think it's up to par, so we're trying to have some, you know, like Saturday programs,
right.
And you know, we're just trying to basically have some people donate their time and try to teach kids to read better.
Yeah.
And, you know, pick up a book instead of their phone, and instead of playing games, you know, read. So
that's tough to do for these kids.
It is.
All their reading goes on menus.
Yeah, I agree.
Wow. Yeah. But yeah, it's really good to have that. You said the Tullyburg Press helped.
The Tullyburg Press, they're amazing. Yeah, Paula is amazing. She does a great job with Tullyburg. And
Paula Shield.
Paula Shield, yes. She does a great job. And she's right around the corner from our office, and she has a really nice building that she put together.
Yeah.
And she has a big heart, and she cares about children, and she's come to Taft Community Center, and she's put in some time, and I can't thank her enough because she comes to my district, and you know, she does a good job, and she's looking to put some more programs together. And hopefully we can get some more children in there,
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely. I mean, the better our kids do, the better we do.
Exactly.
Right. There were some young folks I was talking with a while back. I'm trying to think who it was. It's a person coming out of Davis, from Stockton, coming out of Davis for journalism. And they were talking about the brain drain.
Right.
The thing about Stockton is we produce great people, but sometimes because of the opportunity, oftentimes people traditionally have been leaving. But now we got people returning for the very purpose of giving back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So like, and this young person I was speaking with, she's one of them. She said, "Well, my goal is to go back and give back to the community."
I think our mayor is a perfect example of that.
Sure.
I mean, he could have. Mr. Tubbs is obviously a smart guy and graduated from Stanford. He could have went anywhere, but he wanted to come back and lead. And he's done a great job. And that's a perfect example of somebody who wanted to come home and give back to their community.
Definitely, he went out and got a top-notch education and came right back.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Yeah. Now you mentioned that there's some things coming up.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You know what? Basically, I got a job fair roadshow in my community centers, and basically we're gonna have some employers come out, and basically, some kids who graduate from high school, maybe they don't want to go to college.
Right.
So we're gonna have some employers there, and electrical union, the plumbing union,
right,
and maybe they can interview and maybe get on with the good. Maybe they're interested in it. Maybe they'll catch interest, and maybe they can sign up for some programs they have.
Yeah.
And you never know, they can get a career.
Sure. Most jobs, people think college education, but there's a ton of jobs that are unfillable right now because they're trades.
Exactly.
And you need skills. You need to be an electrician, or you need to understand how construction works, or welding, like you said.
There's a lot of employment out there for somebody who really wants to work. If they want to put their heart into it and go to school and work a little bit, they can get a good career.
Yeah.
They can create the American dream.
You need to know that out there, because when I heard these salaries now. Talking about electricians making doctor money,
right?
Welders starting at like 23 and change,
right?
And within a couple years making $45 an hour almost,
right?
Folks, man, think about that. Like, especially a lot of us, I said us, but there's a lot of folks out here who might have a college degree and still have trouble finding work.
Exactly.
But with these trades, man, we're talking about jobs that are waiting to be filled.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So how does somebody get involved? You got the trade show coming up.
We got the trade show coming up, and basically we're going to advertise that on Facebook and some of our community centers, and we're going to try to reach out to parents and talk to their children of, hey, listen, you're going to graduate from high school pretty soon, and you don't have a career yet. Maybe we should go to this trade show and job fair.
Yeah.
And maybe there's something that they might strike up an interest, and maybe they might find a career.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about that. And then also, I got a clinic coming up for kids. My cousin was a baseball player for the Minnesota Twins, Eddie Guardado.
Yeah.
So basically, he wants to give back to the community. He told me, hey, listen, when I can help out, let me know. And we talked, and basically, in the off season, he's going to have basically like a free camp, baseball camp.
Nice.
So basically, I'm going to have him and some other major leaguers, and it's going to be a free camp. I'm hoping like 200 kids who want to sign up, different ages. I'm thinking from like, from 9 to 13, one group, and then another group from 13 to 17 or 13 to 18.
Yeah.
And Eddie will come out with a couple of his buddies, Adam Malhughes, hopefully.
Yeah.
And a couple of the friends that I have in the community that play baseball growing up,
nice.
Who are really good. And they all want to give back.
Yeah.
People find out. Some of my friends who are talk to me, say, how do I give back? How do I help out? And then, I try to figure out the best way they can help out.
Yeah.
And I'm figuring out people in Stockton have big hearts because they want to give back. And
definitely.
They're always asking me, hey, Miguel, what can I do? How can I give back? And I'm trying to figure out the best way. Like, Eddie's a perfect example.
Yeah.
I said, he said he wanted to help out. I said, baseball camp.
Man, what a great thing to be burdened. Not burdened, but what a great thing to be tasked with is to help people to give back.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And they want to give back. They just got to find a way how they can do it, know. So this baseball camp, I'm pretty excited about.
So now that's coming up. That's in the next.
Well,
few months.
What? It depends if the Twins make the playoffs or not.
Yeah, because he'll be busy.
Right, and then I got baseball. I got basically Delta College's ex baseball coach Pat Doyle.
Yeah.
You've heard of Pat Doyle?
Yeah.
Okay, that was Eddie's baseball coach at Delta,
Wow.
and he wants to help me coordinate it.
Nice.
One of my best friends, Steve Cardona.
All right.
He's an ex minor league baseball player.
Nice.
And then a lot of good friends. I should have 10 or 12 guys there helping out.
Yeah, that's gonna be great.
And I just got to find the kids who really want to, play baseball and learn from some of the best.
Well, I mean, we got almost how many high schools? We got like 10 high schools in the
Yeah,
area, so
yep.
we
Should-
should be able to pull
Yep.
a plenty of players out there. And,
No.
and Delta's baseball team, University Pacific.
Mhm.
We got, of course, obviously hometown, the Ports.
Right.
So it's a lot of baseball in this town,
Yeah.
Mudville.
So hopefully when Eddie's done, he'll come home and put this camp together,
Yeah.
trying to get some solid dates, and I will let you know.
All right, yeah, we'll be on it.
That'd be great.
All right, so okay, job fair, roadshow. We got a baseball clinic coming up.
Right.
People need to learn about money.
Yes, that's a big deal. We're gonna have some basically some people who come out and talk about buying a house, credit. There's a lot of people out there, especially in South Stockton, my district,
Yeah,
who have good jobs, but they don't know the first step to buying a house.
yeah, kind of.
So we're gonna have some counselors come out there and basically talk about, hey, listen, this is what you need to improve your credit. There's FHA programs, there are different programs to buy a house,
Yeah,
and just trying to get them in the right direction.
yeah.
So just trying to connect people.
Some people maybe they're still scared from the 2008 crash.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then other people just like it's called financial literacy. Some of us are just financially illiterate. We don't know about
Exactly.
that kind of stuff.
Right.
If it isn't like cash in hand or if it doesn't cycle through a checking account, that's already too big.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Wow.
So hopefully that goes well. We just got to advertise it a little more and get in our community centers and talk to all the families and get them out there.
Now you talked about the book camp at Taft,
Right.
and so now there's going to be an after school program going on out there.
We're working on it.
Okay,
Basically,
hopefully.
basically trying to get funds
Yeah.
and probably have some fundraisers to, basically we need funds to pay the educators
Right.
to get the kids there,
Sure.
feed them,
Yeah.
give them drinks,
Mhm.
and basically, we have to give back to the kids. That's what it's all about. Like you
Sure.
said earlier, it's all about the future of our children.
That's right.
So we're trying to have some after-school programs instead of kids hanging out in the corner or doing whatever they do. Hey, come to the community center, and they get to learn.
Taft is so cool. I saw they got greenhouses over there now.
Yeah, Taft's one of our better community centers in our district.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
man. Don Aguilar.
Yep.
Yeah, he was telling me about it, putting up greenhouses out there, and I thought that was so cool to have food growing right there on campus, on the school grounds. Really ideally, isn't that how we would want it? Is have organic food right next to where they were feeding kids healthy stuff. And,
Right.
and the kids could even learn about it maybe. And
Right.
yeah, the more involved, we could get these kids,
Mhm.
the less involved in bad things they'll be.
I agree.
Right.
Yep.
So that's awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
And you said Saturday too, possibly.
You know what? This Saturday?
No, Saturday school.
Oh yeah, Saturday school is one of our big deals. Yeah,
Yeah, Saturday programs.
Saturday programs and after-school programs we're
Yeah.
trying to get going for kids.
That'd be great.
Yep. And but we'll see how it turns out. You know what? We're trying our best to raise some funds to keep it going. It's all about, let's face it, everything's about funds. So
Now you talked about redevelopment, and we know, man, Southside has been, I don't know, I guess neglected is the right word.
right.
But of course, in the word crisis also means opportunity, right? So,
Right.
there's a lot of things we could be doing out there, and there's also a lot of programs in place to help people. Maybe the first time they bought a house, or maybe they're in a certain area that's disadvantaged, or maybe they have certain ethnic or cultural backgrounds, and there's all sorts of different programs here and there
Right.
to help people out. But you talked about adopting houses. What does that mean?
Well, basically, in District 1, if you're a veteran, I'm trying to do it countywide.
Yeah.
But
Got to start somewhere.
we got to start somewhere. Basically, my assistant and I, Chris Rape, trying to come up with this program, and we talked to Home Depot and Lowe's. And basically, if you're a veteran in this county, we want to come up with a program where it's called Adopt a Home.
Mm-hmm.
And say, for example, you're a hole in your roof. I mean, you really can't afford to fix it.
Right.
Well, this program, people will either donate to get your roof fixed, because you want to help a veteran, or Home Depot or Lowe's will supply the materials.
Sure.
So that's really an example.
Yeah.
But anything they might need, if you're a veteran,
take care of our vets.
We want to take care of our vets.
Yeah.
And we're trying to come up with a program called Adopt a Home.
Nice.
And I'm trying to get some people, big players on board, Home Depot, Lowe's, stuff like that, and some people who just want to help veterans in general.
Yeah. The Habitat for Humanity does a thing where they, people build homes.
Yeah, I know Michael Huber. He does a great job.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're actually there's their. We've talked to him and he wants to help out. Good.
And he's a great guy with a big heart. And he's a
big shout out. One of our sponsors.
Good.
Restore, yeah.
Yeah.
In fact, if you see the dark right there, the darkness, that's so we're doing a little remodeling and soundproofing, and Habitat definitely helped us out with that.
Oh no, they do a great job. He took me for a tour of some of the homes they do, and those homes are incredibly built, and they're all volunteer work, and that's they do a great job. Man,
that's great.
Yeah.
Now we're also in the works. You talked about safe neighborhoods.
Right.
That's always an issue. When you were running, when we talked to you, then the top issue was crime.
Yeah.
And so safe neighborhoods have more to do with I think. When you think about crime, a lot of times you think about law enforcement.
Right.
But the safe neighborhood becomes safe from the inside out. Yeah.
You know what? Basically, we're gonna go door to door, and we're gonna ask people to participate in a neighborhood safe program, a neighborhood watch program.
Right.
Exchange emails, maybe phone numbers. It happens. It works.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Sure.
But people in South Stockton, I think, for some reason, they don't always want to participate. Maybe they're scared if they report something. But we're gonna find the people who do want to participate.
Yeah.
We got a program going on in Box Track right now.
Right.
We're trying to start it up, where we're going door to door.
Yeah.
And we're going to meet at the community center, and anybody who wants to be involved in this program can.
Yeah.
If they see something suspicious,
yeah,
they can either make a phone call.
Yeah.
We brought the sheriff's department out there, and Sheriff Moore's done a great job of bringing his staff out there to support this program.
Right.
And we want to make it spread, so we want to take it to all over Country Club area, Boggs Track, South Stockton, in the county areas. Let the city do their thing, but we want to oversee the county.
Right.
So it's it can work. We just got to put more effort into it.
I would say it is probably the only way it can work is people taking ownership of their community, their small community. The street in front of them and right around in their neighborhood.
Right.
A lot of the issues we have in those circumstances because there's not a lot of communication anymore.
Right.
We're kind of in our own world, and and then there's. If there's violence or there's crime, sometimes you just want to just mind your own business.
I agree. I agree.
I think the shift in the mentality is the first step, is to take ownership, to reclaim your neighborhood.
Right.
It's a lot of power in going in front of your house and picking up the trash that other people left.
That's a big issue in our district. People just leave their trash everywhere.
Yeah, but the homeowners that look, and I see them come outside and they'll clean up they didn't throw this trash in front of the house but they clean it up, and that has a ripple effect. That's a powerful effect. People see somebody cares about this little space right here.
Right. Well, it's being a good neighbor.
Yeah.
If they see something like that, they want to either pick it up or at least report it and say, listen, I've seen somebody doing it, and it has a ripple effect. What? If you and I do it, and then our neighbor does it, and before we know it, everybody's taking care of the neighborhood.
There you go.
So hopefully, we can make some of these programs work, and it'd be great for the community.
Now, you're talking about schools. We're talking about sidewalks, Pock Lane safe passage for children. This is something you're working on now.
Well, you know what, Pock Lane. If you've ever been out there, there's a street that basically kids walk to school every day.
Yeah.
And they're basically walking on. It's not a road.
Right.
And it's dangerous because cars come by, and they're speeding.
Yeah.
And they're not always aware there's kids around there.
Right.
So basically we're trying to develop new roads, and Public Works is on top of that. Yeah, they're going to build some sidewalks for kids to walk to school.
Yeah.
And we're working on it. It's a project, but it's.
But you already secured the funds for it.
We secured the funds.
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah. So basically, we just got to make it happen now.
Now a lot of people don't realize or don't really think about. We have parts of the city that aren't parts of the city. We talked about these unincorporated areas, but
right.
Weston Ranch is also one. And then you know, the county doesn't just include Stockton. We're talking about, French Camp, Manteca,
yeah,
all that is part of the county too, and north too.
Right.
But you're District 1, paying attention mostly. We're talking about south of south.
You know what? It basically goes up to French Camp Road,
Uh-huh.
and everything north of that,
Uh-huh.
and then I go down to 99,
Right.
and to Harding Way,
Right.
and parts of Country Club.
Of course.
So it's an interesting map if you look at it on paper.
You got a little bit of everything.
I got a little bit of everything.
Wow.
And a lot of that is city and the county also.
Now you're working on affordable housing in French Camp.
Well, you know what? There's Michael Huber again.
Yeah.
So basically, we're trying to find undeveloped property in the county, and that Habitat for Humanity can build on,
Yeah.
and make homes for low-income families.
Right.
So every time there's a piece of property, we're trying to develop it.
I got your eye on it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what about last year? We heard some talk about the home. You mentioned homelessness as an issue,
Right.
About addressing homelessness, and this has been more and more of the conversation now. And people were talking about all these different ideas, these tiny homes, these homeless. I mean, not homeless, but kind of like these, because we got tent cities, we got encampments, and that produces a whole set of issues. We're talking about,
I agree.
Health issues, safety issues, biohazard because people are, they don't have restroom facilities.
Right.
There's children out there. What? Is there any possibility for that the development for those kind of tiny homes or little villages that they're talking about?
You know what the problem is? Anything we do,
Mm-hmm.
there's always going to be that problem. There's some people who are just have, I'm on the behavioral health committee.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these people have health issues, mental health issues.
Sure.
So if we do build something for them, there's still going to be some people who do not want to live in there.
Yeah.
And we're always going to have these issues. I don't think it's going to go away. We could build a city with, hotel with everything in it, but there's still some people who are not going to feel comfortable in society.
So we got to address that not as a housing issue but a mental health issue.
I believe a lot of it is mental health issue, a lot of drug abuse issue,
Yeah.
and a mental health issue.
Yeah, we had it was Mr. Richardson from
Mhm.
the Gospel Center. And he said that the statistic is pretty high. I think it's somewhere between 60 and 70, maybe upwards of 80% of the people who are homeless have substance abuse issues.
Yeah.
So it's a very high percentage.
Right.
And so again, that is a health issue. If it's not a mental health issue, it's definitely a physical health issue.
Right.
So how is the county working on that aspect of it, at least, and maybe not directly to alleviate homelessness, so to speak, but
Right.
there used to be a time, well, I don't know if it's even true. We always remember the good old days, but as I understood, there was a time when people were more likely to get help for mental health issues, but the help wasn't really beneficial. Some of it was pretty bad.
Right.
We got horror stories from decades past. Now we seem to be more focused on health issues. We talk about our soldiers coming back. PTSD is legitimate. It's not like they have to defend themselves and their conditions. Are we what are we doing towards mental health in those aspects?
You know what? There's so many. From what I understand, there's 16,000 people with mental health issues in San Joaquin County, and the problem is everybody has to come forward and basically ask for help. And the county does a good job of trying to help as many people as they can.
Yeah.
But they got to want it.
Yeah.
They got to want the help to help.
That's
help.
true.
They got to want to help themselves.
Yeah.
So Prop 47 just passed, and there's I think $6 million that's going to come in our way, and trying to figure out how to spend those funds and help people out who need it.
Right.
But again, this homeless issue, I don't think it's going to go away.
No.
I think we can help a majority of the people, but some of those people aren't going to want help. They have their independence and they like being homeless. That's my opinion, but it's just
Well, I've met some people who really do. Of course, we see people who, obviously they don't, and again, we can't help everybody and everything, and some people maybe do enjoy that, or at least enjoy the freedom in it or the perceived freedom.
Right.
But they're definitely, we talked about the statistics in school where now we're looking at, 10 to, in some areas, even 25% of the students are either homeless or very perilously close to it.
Right.
And so, that these are like ongoing life quality of life issues.
Right.
And so when you talk about jobs, when you talk about people having these opportunities, we talk about education. That is kind of the way to address these problems, right?
Right. I mean, I don't know if you do it, but when I'm going downtown and if I end up talking to someone who's homeless, a lot of the times they don't want your help. I mean, they might ask you for a couple of bucks, but if you tell them you really want to help them, they really don't want the help.
Yeah.
That's just what I've seen, because I see people and I want to help them.
Yeah.
And get them in the right direction. Either be a substance abuse problem or a mental health issue.
Yeah.
But a lot of the times, they just want a couple of bucks and they want to move on.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to spend some time in the Bay Area with some homeless folks, and what it seemed to me, and I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but if it does, it's just my experience. It seems like there are a lot of people out there who are homeless and we don't know they're homeless because they don't come up and they don't ask.
Right.
And those are actually probably the ones who really need the help.
Right.
And a lot of the people who I saw doing the asking were the ones who are kind of, maybe they weren't, how do I put it? They weren't using the money that they were asking for in a positive, progressive way.
Right.
And sometimes what that does is I think it gives people that feeling like that you have is like, man, I'm trying to help you and you don't want it. But there's these hidden homeless people,
right,
that are the ones that we really do need to
right.
Help and support.
Right.
And like we were talking again with the Gospel Center Rescue Mission, and they feed some I think 300 to 600 people a day.
Right.
And those are people who are sometimes they're it's a temporary thing. And this helps them get along the way, but there are a lot of people who are chronically homeless.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're trying to help, and I think that our task force, headed by Kathy Miller, I think they're on top of it, and they're gonna do the best they can.
Excellent. Now, man, when I saw this list of all these committees and stuff you're on, man, I'm wondering like, wow, man.
You know what? It's pretty amazing. 15 committees, and they do take a lot of your time, and they're fun committees. Some really fun. And
now, one thing we hadn't talked about, and we're going to talk about it next time, is the tunnels.
Yes.
The tunnels is a hot topic issue. The tide seems to be shifting, no pun intended, but because it seemed like it was kind of like a powers that be versus the small loud voice, but now it seems to be more of a coalition building in opposition to the tunnels.
Right. Well, there's so much opposition with the tunnels. I really don't believe anything will happen in the next 20 years.
Yeah.
Or maybe in 30 years.
Yeah.
There's so much opposition. There's so many lawsuits.
Yeah. We're going to figure something out before that time.
Yeah, we're going to have new leadership. We're going to have a new governor here pretty quick.
Technology.
Yeah, we're going to have a new governor, and he's going to have a different take on it.
Yeah.
So, I think people are going, obviously they're worried about it.
Yeah.
But for time's sake, it's not going to happen in the next 20 years.
Well, I know a lot of people will be happy about that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm looking at some of the committees, children and families, obviously, and behavioral health. But this one here seems interesting. Juvenile justice coordinating.
Right.
This is something that, we know that statistically people who are involved in crime and who live a lifetime of crime often are start as juveniles.
Right.
And it never ends because they probably didn't finish school. They probably already now have a criminal record.
Well, I think it starts at home. You need good parenting.
Yeah.
And that's when I was running for office. People were asking me, "What are you gonna do about crime?" And I'm saying, well, it starts at home when you're a kid.
Yeah.
You gotta have good parents.
Yeah.
And they got to teach you good values.
Yeah.
And that was one of the benefits I had of growing up on a farm.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up every day and I had to go to work before I went to school, and come home. After practice, whatever sports I played, I had work to do, I had chores.
Yeah.
And I don't think, I'm not saying this for every kid, but I'm saying that I think parents have to give their kids more chores.
Sure.
More responsibility.
Yeah.
And show them that, what, I'm not going to, everything's not everything is given. You got to work for it.
Right.
So, when I was running, I basically said, what, listen, if I win, all I'm going to do is try to make good decisions and put programs in place. But the parents have to instill in their child that, you have to work hard and,
right.
study and get an education and get a good job and raise a family and live the American dream.
Right. And some folks don't have that, and they
That's
end up
true.
in the system, and they need support, and they need to find not just justice in the sense of paying for their crimes, but also in trying to get their lives together.
That's true.
And then you're working on committees towards that as well.
Right.
So I see also your organization's a lion up in the building right here. All right,
Yep.
all right.
Yep.
And so there are some things to look forward to. If you could go ahead and kind of give them the rundown again. We got the job fair coming.
Yeah, we got the job fair coming, and that's going to hopefully put some people to work. And actually working with Supervisor Tom Patty on a basically the same thing. For after school people who graduate from high school or during high school. Put them in some workshops, some trade show, some trades.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out what they want to do with their life.
Yeah.
And there's a bunch of different programs, but basically, I think me being in office, I'm trying to concentrate on children.
Yeah.
Teach them how to read.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to teach them how to read, but basically show them the way.
Sure.
Get an education,
Right.
work hard, go to school.
Yeah.
And then for the older, for older people, we have this mentor program. Work on your credit, save your money, buy a house, and do your best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quality of life.
Quality of life, exactly.
So if somebody now, people need to get in contact with you. Somebody has a question, if they have a suggestion, if they have a issue that needs attention, how do they reach you?
You know what? Basically, I'm on Facebook, and I get a lot of messages on Messenger,
Okay.
and that seems to be the most way people get a hold of me.
Wow.
Yeah, and I return, basically every message. I try my best to.
So what's your Facebook handle?
It's basically Miguel Villapudua.
Are there like four that we got to pick from?
No, actually, there's only two, but either one works.
Okay. You check them both.
Yep.
All right.
And I have my county email and so forth. But you know what? I'm pretty accessible.
All right.
Yep. So I return everybody's phone call, and return all my my Facebook messages.
Okay. All right.
So.
And so there it is. Facebook, easy way to get to them. You're a friend of ours. So you can scroll down our thing, but it'd be way easier just to type it in. Now we're gonna see you again soon. You're gonna come back and give us a regular report.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll come back like once a month or so,
Very
and
good.
I appreciate you having me.
Of course.
And I appreciate all the Facebook listeners out there listening. And
Yep.
if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any ideas how we can help our community, I'll be more than welcome to sit down with you and talk to you about issues in the county.
All right.
And I'll recognize you.
Excellent. All right, and we'll tag him in the video as soon as it finishes uploading. Again, we want to thank you for spending time with us and for your commitment to the community. Congratulations on your election. We know that it's a tough job. I'm looking at the stuff you work on.
Yep.
It's something like a 25-hour-a-day job.
You know what? Yeah, between the committee assignments and all the events that you go to, it is a full-time job. It's a lot of fun though.
Yeah.
You meet a lot of good people, and helping people is always makes you feel good, obviously.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
I enjoy it. And thank you for all the people who got me elected.
All
really.
All right.
So.
Well, you've been tuned in to Stockton SJC with our special guest, Miguel Villapudua, San Joaquin County Supervisor for District Number 1. And, of course, there's how many districts? 5?
There's 5 districts, 5 supervisors, and I'm District 1.
All right. And so if you want to contact him, turns out it's the best way is on Facebook. Do you have like an official email address or something like that?
You know what? I can give everyone my email if you like.
Please do.
MIG, V as in Victor, ILL, @gmail.com.
All right. One more time.
MIG, V as in Victor, ILL, @gmail.com.
All right. Miguel Villapudua, San Joaquin County Supervisor for District 1. I want to thank you for coming in.
Absolutely, Don. Anytime. And thank you so much for having me. And thank you, everyone, for listening.
All right. So stay tuned for more quality programming on the voice of Stockton, KXVS, soon to be on 92.1, but broadcasting live on Facebook, YouTube, TuneIn, Simple Radio. We're out there. Please do get on our Facebook, like and subscribe, and you'll get more from us. And if you have some things that you want us to cover, you can reach us through Facebook as well. Thanks again to Miguel Villapudua for coming in. Appreciate you very much.
Thank you, Don. We'll see you again soon.
All right, keep up the good work, and stick around for more right here on KXVS.
KXVS.